When it comes to fishing, there's one thing that's guaranteed, which is no guarantees.
So I don't think it really matters.
So far, nothing.
It's one of the biggest reasons why you should always have a plan B. But down here in the Florida Keys, we have multiple letters in the plan alphabet.
Nice.
On a bad day, even the best fishermen will struggle. But on a good day, well, it looks something like this.
Flag Yellowtail. So check this thing out right here, guys. How many different bands do we have on this gun right now?
I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands on this gun, and they're thick bands.
Yeah.
This gun's made in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is definitely like the 50 cal of spear guns right there, guys. I mean,
Also really important to have a really nice bungee on your float line. This is gonna help relieve the pressure on that fish on that first initial run.
and what he means by float is this entire bungee is attached to our spear. So once I shoot this gun, this entire spear detaches and it's attached to this long line here, which is the bungee. And at the end is a float right there. That just helps to relieve the pressure off of the fish. Ultimately, our job is to let that fish run, tire himself out, and then we retrieve that float right there. Hopefully we get to that point today.
All right, guys, so boys are in the water. As the driver, it's really important to keep your distance. Obviously, you don't want to spook the fish with the motor. The fish are always usually going to be swimming against the current. So if you stay behind them, behind their drift, then least chance of having the boat disrupt an opportunity. If the boys see some fish, and there's a lot of them, I'm gonna try to get up close to them and throw a bunch of bait in the water to try to keep the fish around. And other than that, literally just gonna be chilling on the boat with Anthony here. We're gonna be praying these boys get a good opportunity here.
It's a gorgeous day to do some drifts. It was beautiful. So far, nothing. Seen a lot of life on the wreck where we're at. A bunch of yellowtails, rainbow runners, amberjacks, yellow jacks. That's what it's really about, is just the persistence. You know, you just keep on trying, keep on drifting. Some days you get them, some days you don't. Right now we're at the end of the conveyor belt, so to speak. Went up on the up current side of the wreck, drifted through, basically looked around, tried to see if we could see anything. Now that we're on the other side of the piece of structure, what Jake's gonna do is he's gonna bring us right back up to the front. We're gonna drift through again. And that's what you just keep on doing. Pick up, drop off, drift through. Pick up, drop off, drift through. That's exactly what we're doing.
While the boys are drifting, it's a beautiful day out here, not a lot of wind, so I'm able to keep the boat off while they're drifting. And I can actually throw a line out for a nice yellowtail. These spots have some really big yellowtails, what they're telling me, and the fish are pretty up high in the water column, so I'm just gonna let this bait drift back and see if I can't hook up on a yellowtail. Oh man, there he is, This is a big one, he's a big one. Flag yellowtail, guys. Flag yellowtail. Look at that. Now that is a Florida Keys yellowtail right there, guys. And that is almost as big as they get right there down here. Can't beat that.
All right, so this next drift, I'm taking Joaquin's gun because his gun's actually a real gun. And basically his doesn't have a float. So as you can see, as soon as I make a shot, that spear will attach to the reel on the gun right there. These rainbow runners and yellowtails keep on eyeing me down, so I think one of them wants to belong to the fish box here real soon. So we're gonna try to shoot one with the real gun real quick, and then I'm gonna hand this gun over to Joaquin.
So if you pay attention to my waist right here, you'll notice that I'm wearing what's called a weight belt. And basically, it's just to eliminate my buoyancy to descend as easy as possible. That way I'm not making a lot of noise on the surface, because believe it or not, you do have to be stealthy with a fish like a rainbow runner. But I lined up my shot, and I have to admit, I impressed myself on this one just because rainbow runners don't have much surface area to work with. But after I retrieved the fish, Joaquin went down and he made a descend on an amberjack. And as you can see, he made a perfect shot. But when you're diving these wrecks, it's important to try and retrieve these fish as fast as possible, just because they can get really sharky. But we did the good old brain and bleed right here, and that's just to remove all that blood from the meat to make it taste as best as possible.
I don't want to embarrass Joaquin over here. Boom, baby. Look at that.
Nice work, Adam. Nice. Nice job, Clay.
Perfect little sashimi size rainbow runner right there.
Awesome.
These things taste so good.
Nice job there, dude.
That's a good one.
Guts.
All right. Check that out. Now, I have to be honest, I've never eaten amberjack before, Jake.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually really good if it's done the right way.
Why do so many people throw them back, though? Because of the worms?
I think the worms and just the word jack scares people. I think one of the better eating fish down here in the ocean, especially this size. Oh yeah, look at this monster. It's bigger than the last one. Guys, I lied when I said that's as big as they get, because, oh baby. Especially when the boys are drifting and I'm just up here driving with Anthony, filming, gives me something to do. Look at it, and that's why we call him flags. Look at how big his tail is. That is a good one, guys. The difference between these two yellowtail aren't much, but two really big size yellowtail for the Florida Keys.
So we're about to make a move here, but before we do, I have to get in on this yellowtail action here, man. Let's see if we can catch one real quick. There we go. We got one on right there, baby.
Yeah, Clay!
That's awesome, man. It's so funny. I was down there trying to spear one for the longest time, but man, yellowtail are some of the hardest fish to spear, believe it or not. But you can typically always fool them with a big old bonita chunk there.
Oh, nice yellowtail.
Yeah, buddy. Look at that right there.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that one, dude.
It don't get better than that, man.
That's a flag right there, man.
We could do that all day, huh?
Oh, yeah. But that's what's insane. I mean, just look at the size of that tail compared to the rest of his body. And that's why they're such hard fighters, but at the same exact time, they taste so good. Not as big as Jake's. I wouldn't call him a flag. He's close to it, but man, we should have just went yellowtailing today.
There it is. Get him, Joaquin. Get him.
See, that's how you fight him right there.
Look at that Avail rod. Thing's beautiful.
See, Joaquin, Michigan, pretty good, but you put a veil rod in his hand. Jeez.
Oh, look at that.
Woo! That's where patience pays off right there. We're about to leave. Joaquin hooked up just like that. This one I would say is probably a little bigger than the one that I just caught.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So this right here is definitely what makes the Florida Keys so unique, is if one thing's not working, you can always try something else. But we decided to give the spot one last drift, and Joaquin managed to go down and shoot another nice yellowtail.
Just barely got them there. They're spooky, you know. We've been trying all day to put a shot in one. Easy to hook them, not so easy to spear them. So
It's the truth. The key is the chumming, though. Throw out some dead pilchards down there, which is what we've been doing all day, gets them all fired up. And that's basically what helps you close the gap between you and the fish. So basically you want to be between them and the chum. Once they start coming towards the chum, that's when you approach them, and that's how it's done.
So after bagging another yellowtail, we decided to take a lunch break. Spearfishing can get really exhausting, so it's really important to just relax for a little while. What's so cool about going out with Jake is he always has something pretty extravagant planned. And as you can see right here, he brought along some stone crab claws.
Right there. It's a beautiful stone crab claw. But we brought some nice mustard sauce out. This is what we use in the Florida Keys to eat our stone crabs. Pretty much it's just mayonnaise, mustard, and a little bit of key lime juice, maybe a little salt.
What's interesting about stone crab claws too, this is probably the only seafood that you can legally harvest and eat on the boat. Everything else has to be brought back to land, filleted up. Stone crabs are a little different because you harvest just the claws. All right, guys, so just made our move inshore here. Now we're probably about 4 miles offshore. What's really interesting about spearfishing here in the upper portion of the Florida Keys, a lot of people don't know you have to be 3 miles offshore to legally spearfish. Once you get past Long Key and south, you can actually spearfish a lot closer near shore. But here in the upper Keys, it's a lot different. So biggest thing is we got to make sure that we're outside that 3 mile mark. And at this point, we're in about 35, 40 feet. We're gonna drop the trolling motor, we're gonna anchor lock, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start chumming with some of those dead pilchards to try to get that life coming up and see if we can maybe shoot a mutton snapper, yellow jack, mangrove snapper. You never really know on the edge of the reef because there's just so much out here.
So the plan worked immediately. As soon as I got in the water, I saw 2 yellow jacks down on the bottom, and this is easily becoming one of my favorite fish and the new staple down here in the Florida Keys. As you can see, pretty easy to shoot, not too hard to catch, and the best part is they taste amazing. Very comparable to a fish, I'd say, like a mahi.
Whew. Coming to the reef paid off, baby. One of my favorite fish.
First comes the mutton snapper, second comes the yellow jack. They taste good. What's really interesting about him is how dark he is right now. He's almost not recognizable as the yellow jack, but best part about him, you can eat him grilled, fried, sashimi style. That's it right there, guys. That's awesome.
So as much as I love fishing and spearfishing, I love capturing it just as much. And days like today make me so happy that we brought the cameras along because it just turned out to be more and more successful the more that we explored and dove. Right here, this is our first time diving this spot. That's Joaquin making his dive. I'm already halfway down and I spot a couple lionfish. And whenever I get a chance to shoot some lionfish, I always take up on it. It's always important to try to remove these guys because as we all know, they're an invasive species. But as soon as I took the shot on this guy, Joaquin is continuing to descend. And as you can see, this over-the-shoulder shot just came out amazing of him hitting that yellow jack. But it's back up to the surface for the both of us, another successful dive. But we're just breaking the ice. Days like this don't really come too often, but when the stars align, it's just amazing how being at the right place at the right time just makes all the difference when being out on the water.
So check out his belly right there. They'll gorge themselves so badly on food to the point where they give themselves liver damage. Nothing down here recognizes them, so that's why they're able to fill their bellies like that, which is just pretty crazy. But he's gonna taste good. Then we got another one coming in the boat here. Joaquin just shot another yellow jack too. Put a really good shot on him. Check that out. Nice work, buddy.
Well, we're slowly working our way inshore here. We just made it here to the grass ledges, and basically this area right here is around 15 feet, and typically we find lobsters and stone crabs underneath these ledges here. But before we get in the water, I wanted to tell you guys about Groons, and Groons actually reached out to me asking to sponsor the channel, and I told them before I tell you guys what they have to offer, I have to try them for myself. And if you guys are like me, I always get a little craving after I eat lunch. So what's really cool about these is they're sweet like a gummy, but they're also a multivitamin, a prebiotic, and a greens gummy all packed into one. And what's great too is most multivitamins, they only have about 7 to 9 vitamins and minerals, whereas these 8 little gummies right here, they have over 20 vitamins and minerals, and they also have ingredients of up to 60 whole foods. They actually had to send me another bag because I ate the entire bag before I actually got this integration. But if you guys like getting your vitamins in, you like something a little sweet, they're offering you guys up to 52% off. If you guys go ahead to the link below in the video description, click it. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring this week's video. We're gonna hop in the water real quick after I finish my little baggie of Groons. We're gonna see if anyone's home.
Now going down to grab a crab in a dark hole that has a crushing strength of 25,000 pounds will never sit right with me. but that's what makes this so fun. I told myself that this is something that I would never be able to do, but a couple months ago, I learned how to catch stone crab by hand. And as you can see, this is one of the most adrenaline-filled activities that you can do on the water. And the best part is these crabs are actually really easy to find.
Nice. We'll take that right there, baby. That's a really big crab right there. He's got a jumbo claw on one side, one that's a little smaller on the other.
All right.
Woo-hoo! That was cool. I saw a nice little sand dollar in a big old hole right there. I said, man, there's got to be a stone crab in there, and saw him up inside.
So what I like to do is I get my pinky under the joint, and right where it stops right there, use a leverage, and it pops it right off. So same thing on this side, and right where it stops, I fold it and it pops right off.
So it's so cool is both of these claws will eventually replenish on that crab. And there's a lot of controversy between taking one claw versus two. Everybody has a different viewpoint on it. Either way is legal. You can take one, you can take two. I like taking two. The reason why is in order for me to get what I want, basically if I were to take one claw, I'm affecting 10 crabs versus taking two, I'm only affecting 5 crabs. At the end of the day, harvesting fish, harvesting seafood, I mean, it kind of just is what it is. There's no nice way of doing it.
If they have one claw, they're stubborn and they try fighting bigger crabs with 2 claws. If they have no claws, they know not to fight. It actually gives a crab a better chance of survival.
That's pretty awesome that we got it though on the first spot.
Woohoo! Nice one.
Now the grass ledges are easily one of my favorite areas to dive here in the Upper Keys, mainly because of the seagrass, which a lot of people don't know is very important to our ecosystem down here in the Florida Keys. In addition to the crabs, there's so many other little crustaceans that live up inside of here, which is why these stone crabs burrow up inside of these holes. But I was able to find another crab up inside of this hole, and I actually scooped them out without knowing, so I made another dive to come down and I pinned him down from the back. The good part is typically these guys can't reach behind you, but you could typically just grab the claws, which is the best way to handle the crabs.
There's a feisty little one right here.
Oh, he is feisty.
This claw is a little questionable, so we're just gonna leave him with that one, but we're gonna take his legal claw right here that we know that is legal for sure. Now Joaquin does the drop trick, and basically when these crabs feel threatened, they'll drop their claw. But I'm not as experienced as him, so I'm gonna take a knife and just stick it right inside of there and just wiggle it. And then what he's gonna do is he's naturally gonna drop off that claw like he just did right there. So that's the way I like to do it. 4 claws, baby.
So as you can see here, we have company. And that's why it's always so important to have your head on a swivel whenever you're diving. But I found a couple lobsters under this ledge right here, and once they shot out, I just decided they weren't big enough to even mess with. But Joaquin actually found what seems to be a legal sized lobster under this ledge. So we came back up to the surface, gave him a measure to see if he checks out. And as you can see, that gauge doesn't wrap around his carapace, so that is a legal lobster.
Put the 27 through its paces as far as the dive day. I mean, that's awesome. Like I said, these lobster and stone crab, they'll basically be in the same exact area. It's just, you know, the stone crabs are typically a lot better at camouflaging and hiding than lobsters are. Whereas lobsters, they're a dead giveaway by their antennas more than half the time, but basically when we're catching the stone crabs, we're just looking for holes. And a lot of the times when you find like little shells and, you know, little remains of crustaceans and things on the outside of that area of that grass ledge, that'll typically lead you right to the hole where that stone crab is at.
And as you can see, that nurse shark definitely wanted a piece of this stone crab. But another reason to keep your head on a swivel and of course have a buddy diver.
Another good one, baby. I think that's a wrap right there. 3 o'clock.
So this claw right here, in my right hand is small. Left one's legal, so we're just gonna take the legal one, set him on his way. And that's
There we
it.
go.
Cool.
Clean break.
Yeah. So what's cool, actually, you can tell it's an original claw and it's never been taken off by this thumbprint right here. Mm-hmm. It looks like someone stuck their thumb there and let go. Every crab will have that. When you take the claw off and they regrow a new one, it won't have that there.
How often do you catch original crabs versus crabs that have regenerated claws?
I would say in the bay side, which is where we keep the traps, I would say 75% are original.
You know what that tells me then?
That 25% of the crabs actually survived that.
Exactly.
You take the claws off.
So I don't think it really matters if you take one or two. Nonetheless, I mean, you are stressing the crab out. But we're doing the best we can.
Hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy. How was it? I came down confident.
Did you?
Did you catch one?
She came down with plastic baggies. Look at that. She's got faith in her, man.
Yeah.
Hi, beautiful baby. Do you have a good nap? Can you say hi? Say hi.
Hi, hi.
Say hi, guys.
Hi.
I hope you enjoyed watching Daddy.
So this is a sign of a successful day right here, guys. Whenever you find me, or in this case, Jake at the fillet table. And this is probably the best part about having a captain on the boat today, because once you get done, you have Jake filleting the fish, which is a nice treat, because I just get to sit back and relax. But on that note, guys, I mean, I'm extremely appreciative, Jake, of you always coming on the boat and just being so helpful and offering your resources not only to me, but our audience, to just show them just some really cool stuff down here in the Keys and basically replicate it to the point where they can go out and do it themselves with the information we give them.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me out and giving me the opportunity to show all your viewers what we do, and hope to have some of you viewers out with me. We've had some of the viewers come out with me before from the last video, and they had a great time, so.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, if you guys are ever looking to get out, just give me a call and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and I always get people asking me about charter recommendations, so Jake is definitely very high up there on the list, and you guys can see why. You know, not only does he have just a very welcoming and helpful personality, the guy knows how to find fish, and just cool how we get to get out there together and do this collectively doing what we love. And it's gonna taste good too.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna taste good.
Solid.
Are you an Indian? We can start like that. Ready?
Kiwi, kiwi, kiwi. Da 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 da. All right, we got our little Indian here.
Okay, do your thing.
All right, the boys did an amazing job out on the reef catching fish, and I'm here with Jamie, who is going to be helping me in the kitchen. I can't tell you how nice it is to have someone in the kitchen with me helping. As you see, we got our hands full with Keely. She is on the move and almost walking. That's right. Right, Keely? Shoo! So she will be trying some stone crabs for the first time. We're gonna boil them. And then Jamie, you've prepped this. What are we gonna be doing here?
So we have some yellowtail snapper, and we're going to panko fry it. And then we also have a lobster as well, and so we're gonna fry that whole, but instead of just frying it like normal, we're actually gonna adding some coconut in there and make it coconut encrusted. But it's gonna be a good meal.
Yeah. And then,
Excited.
Yep, and I know you guys are hungry because I'm hungry and I didn't even go.
We're not hungry.
You're not? Okay.
Joking, we're starving. And that's what's so cool, like I was saying earlier, you know, there's always a plan A, B, C, and we just have it all right now, from stone crabs to lobsters to fish. And honestly, I mean, we're just lucky that we know how to catch them, and we had an opportunity all to get together today.
And actually catch them, because sometimes you may know what you're doing, but it still doesn't happen.
That's the truth. And just being able to showcase what these guys do day in and day out. And you know, if you guys love us, you love our brand as much as we love you guys, we greatly appreciate it if you guys supported the brand, Avail Gear. That's also gonna be down in the video description below. But how is it? Pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Hold on, try, I wanna try.
I'm gonna try the
lobster. The lobster's delicious.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Dang, we got a new recipe.
I mean, come on, coconut encrusted.
Wow.
That is really good.
It's hard for it to taste bad.
And we're doing a sweet Thai chili sauce.
That is perfect. Good job, guys. But love you all. We appreciate you all. Summer's right around the corner. Water's warming up. Come down here, book a charter with this guy. Until next time, guys, see you then. Appreciate you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks again to Groons as this week's sponsor. Check them out in the link below.